Welcome to the Game and Party channel. I'm Erica, and today we're going to learn how to play Coffee Roaster, designed by Sashi and published by Stronghold Games. Coffee Roaster is a solo game that plays in about 30 minutes. Let's check it out. Our game components include these three boards. The roast board and thermostat and roast board counter are both double-sided, depending if you want a light or standard game. A cup testing board, our game round, and roast marker. We have a bunch of different tokens that come in this cool little insert to keep them organized. There's various bean tokens, flavor tokens, and some other tokens, and we'll talk about how those work during the game. We have a cloth bag where we're going to put tokens and draw from, and our various coffee recipe cards, and a handy dandy score pad for when we're done. The goal of the game in Coffee Roaster is to brew the perfect cup of coffee and score as many points as possible in the process. You're going to earn points depending on the recipe that you choose and achieving that perfect roast level up to 10 points. You also get points based on the flavor tokens in your bag up to 10. Skill points if you have similar level beans in your cup up to 5 points. You can also lose points as well. For example, certain tokens are worth -1 or -2 points, and you can also get -3 points if you have no flavor token in your cup, or -5 points if there are any empty spaces remaining in your cup. To set up the game, you start by selecting one of the different coffee cards that are available. This will dictate your initial setup as well as the contents of your bag. We'll go with this one. So our coffee card will tell us the token breakdown that will start in our bag, as well as where we're going to put our game round marker. So based on the coffee recipe card that we've chosen, I've gathered our initial starting tokens, and these will all go into our bag. We set our game round marker on 8, again based on the coffee recipe that we've chosen. The roast marker always starts on 0. We add this wild flavor token, which is something that we can earn during the game. You take the 5 square cup effect tokens, shuffle them up, and lay them out on these spaces on the board. We also need to put out our smoke tokens, and now we're set up and ready to play. Coffee Roaster is broken into 2 phases. The first phase is the roasting phase. That will be occurring over a certain number of rounds, where we're trying to build up the contents of our bag for phase 2, the cup testing phase, where we're trying to brew the perfect cup of coffee. Step 1 of the roasting phase is normally to increase the temperature. The temperature determines how many tokens you're going to draw out of the bag. In the first round, though, you're going to start at the temperature that's indicated by your coffee card. So we're going to start at 8, which means we're going to draw 8 tokens from the bag. Step 2 is to draw tokens. So I'm going to give these a good mix and draw 8. 6, 7, 8. And depending on what tokens you draw determines what you can do during the game. And step 3, you remove any moisture tokens. In our case, we drew 2, and anytime you draw moisture tokens, they're removed from the game. In step 4, you use tokens for effects. They can be used for immediate effects or flavor effects, and this is optional. You put the corresponding colored flavor token here for a one-time use, so you can do a red, a wild, a blue, or a wild, and get to take this immediate effect. You immediately draw 2 additional tokens out of the bag. You take 2 tokens that you've already drawn out of the bag, put them back in, and draw 2 new tokens. You draw 5 additional tokens and put 3 back in the bag, and you get to take 2 out of the game. You get to remove all burned beans, smoke, and defective tokens that you've pulled during that round. So for example, based on what we drew in our particular case, I could take this blue token, put it here, and draw 5 additional tokens from the bag. Then I take 3 of them, put them back in the bag, and the other 2 would be removed from the game. This token then stays here permanently. You can also use flavor tokens for flavor effects. We have red, green, and blue. Red allows you to combine 2 beans and turn them into 1 bean. So if I had 2 level 1 beans, I could use this red to combine them into 1 level 2. The blue flavor token is the exact opposite. I could take that level 2 and turn it back into 2 level 1 beans. And the green flavor token allows me to preserve a token at the current roasting level. So if I had this 2 token, it could remain a 2, and we'll talk about roasting in the next step. Anytime you use a flavor token on a bean, it's put back into your bag immediately and not roasted in the next step. If you use a token for its flavor effect, you take that used token and put it on this side of your board. It's one-time use, and what you're trying to do is once you fill in these 2 spots, so if I was able to use a blue and a red here, I could get this particular cup effect. And these cup effects give you bonuses during the game. Step 5 is to roast your beans based on the current temperature. Typically, you're going to roast each bean by 1 unless you're at a temperature of 10 or 12. Those are red because you roast by 2 levels. The way roasting works is you look at the bean and exchange it for the higher level value. Again, if you're in a black area, it's going to go up by 1, and if you're in a red area, it's going to go up by 2. In our case, we would take these 3 zeros and turn them into 3 1s. And then we would take this hard bean and turn it into a level 0. For the different level of beans, we have a hard bean, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. The highest you have is a 4. So if you roast past the level 4, you actually get a burned bean. You always roast in descending order. Hard beans can only ever go from a hard bean to a 0, even if you're at a double roast level. After you're done roasting, all your roasted tokens are going to go into your bag, and also any unused tokens that you may have. When you're drawing from your bag, you may also pull smoke, burned beans, or defective beans, and these would also be considered unused during the process and get put back into your bag. So what you want to try to do during the game is to get these removed. You also, during the game, have the option of permanently giving up a 0 and 1 bean in order to earn this wild flavor token, which goes directly into your bag. During the roasting phase, you can also use this roast counter to keep track of your current roast level. So for example, we took 3 0 beans, 2 level 1s, so our roast level would move up to 3. Step 6 is to decide whether or not you cancel and go to step 2, the cup testing phase, or continue on to the next round. If you want to continue on to the next round, you just move the temperature up. So for example, in the next round, we will draw 9 tokens, and the process continues until you decide you're ready to go to phase 2, the cup testing phase. If you move up to this level 10, you're going to add these 2 smoke tokens to the bag, and when you move up to level 12, you're going to add 3 additional smoke tokens to the bag. Using flavor tokens gives you the ability to earn cup effects. When you earn the corresponding cup effect, you can move it over to its designated space to support the cup testing phase. At some point, you're going to decide to move on to the cup testing phase when you think you're ready and able to score the most points based on where your roast level is at. The cup effects that we earn during the game support our cup testing phase. The extra bean token gives us an extra level 3 bean. The sweetness token can serve as any flavor token, or in some cases, some of the coffee recipes require a flavor token. The selection token allows us to draw 2 tokens out of the bag, use 1, and put 1 back. The exchange token allows you to exchange 2 of the 10 tokens that you've already pulled for your cup for 2 other tokens during the game. And the cardboard tray gives you an additional place to dump tokens. During the cup testing phase, you're going to pull tokens out of your bag and either place them in your coffee cup if you think they're going to help you score points, or dump them into the trays. You have a base tray where you have 3 dumping spots, and then you have an additional tray that you can earn with the cup effect token, which gives you 2 additional dumping spots. If you pull moisture tokens out of the bag, those are immediately discarded. You'll pull tokens one at a time and make a decision to place them in your cup or put them in the tray. Unless you have the draw 2 token, you'll draw 2 for the 2 cup spots that are next to the token. Once your cup is full, you go on to final scoring. The first thing you're going to score are the roast points corresponding to your particular cup of coffee. So we were shooting for a roast level of 14 to get the maximum number of points. In our case, we have 13 roast points, which will score us 6 points. Next, you look at flavor points. Our cup of coffee won in 1 green and 2 blue flavor tokens to earn the most points. We do have 1 green, and then we have this token, which can count as a wild, So we have 2 out of the 3 possible flavor tokens. 2 flavor tokens is worth 3 points. Then you look at skill points. Skill points are driven by however many of the same bean type that you have. Once you get to 3 of the same bean type, you start to earn 1 point. In our case, we have 3 of the same bean type in a 1, so we get 1 point. So our total positive points are 6 from our roast points, 3 from our flavor points, and 1 from our skill points for a total of 10. You also earn minus points, and in our case, we have 1 smoke token, which is going to be minus 1 point, so our total score is 9. You do have a handy score pad that you can use to keep track of your points. The game also recommends doing what's called a roast challenge, where you actually brew 3 types of coffee, a level 1, a level 2, and a level 3, to total your score to see how you progress. And that's how you play Coffee Roaster. It's an awesome solo game. I recommend checking it out.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, check out our podcast, and you can find us on all of our social media sites on gameandparty.com. See you on the next video.